excited to be with you guys. This is our Yoga for Strength 9 a.m. Wednesday class here at the Senior Center of Jackson Hole. And I'm so glad to be with you guys. Full disclosure, this is about the 8th time I've tried to record a class. so bear with me. I'm still working the kinks out. But the main thing is we're going to do an hour of yoga and strength training. So that's the most important thing. If you're new to Yoga for Strength, this is an hour class. My name is Jo, and it's a very active class, but we use very basic yoga postures. The idea is that to make the most efficient use of your time, you're doing your yoga practice, and at the same time, you're also incorporating some strength training exercises. So that way you get kind of a total body conditioning workout along with your yoga practice. Another emphasis is, I'm a functional movement specialist, so I'm very focused on optimal alignment and correct form. So another big component of this class is, as we move into our yoga postures, are we moving from a place of stability and strength? Because once we're stable and once we're strong in the posture, then we can move deeper into the posture and relax it a little bit. Otherwise, we tend to just take the shape of the posture, and then we kind of hang on for dear life for a few seconds, and then we come out of the posture and we're glad it's over. So what we're trying to do is feel stronger, feel more stable, feel more balanced, and then when you're in the posture, your nervous system can actually begin to calm down. And that's when one of the greatest benefits of a yoga practice, we begin to experience that. We calm down a little bit and we feel a little bit less tense. And especially at this point in time, we want to reduce the tension in the body and not create more tension. So anyway, we're going to get started. You need your mat, ideally a water bottle if you've got one handy, and then a set of hand weights. And at home, I know a lot of you guys don't have hand weights, so you can also grab a couple cans of beans or soup. I'm sure you got plenty of canned goods right now. Or you can just do the strength exercises without extra weight. You still get a lot of benefit just using your body weight. So if you've got weights, great. If you don't worry about it. Okay, here we go. I'm so excited to see you guys. And let's get going. So have your mat. My mat is parallel, but I want you to have your mat turn perpendicular to me. That way you'll be able to see me a little bit better as we begin to practice. Okay? So come to the front of your mat. I will actually be in the center of my mat. And we're going to start with Tadasana. So Tadasana is our most fundamental standing posture. It really is the posture that carries us through the day. So take your feet hip-width apart, and we've created what we call a very solid, stable base of support. We actually call that your BOS. And throughout our practice this morning, we will consistently change that base of support in our different postures, and that's when we really create more balance and stability in a variety of different movements. But for now, we're in Tadasana. Feet are hip-width apart. And press the feet down. Ideally, you're barefoot. That way you can really feel the connection of your feet with the mat. Spread the 10 toes. Press the toes down. And press the heels into the floor. So just pause here for just a second. And notice as we connect the feet to the mat, the nervous system begins to it gets a little bit more grounded, even just for a few seconds. And what happens is that draws us more present. So we begin to become a little bit more myopic. So we're very internally focused over the next hour. So we press the toes down, press the heels down. Take your shin bones a little bit forward. That creates that micro bend in the knee, and that will protect the knee joint. It actually creates a natural brace for the knee is one way to think about it. So shin bones are always slightly forward, micro bend in the knee, and we begin to move up the legs. We actually call this a kinetic chain, and that kinetic chain in the body, it describes how we balance stability with mobility, because that's critical to keep us from getting injured, and also helps our balance and our strength. So again, we're balancing stability with mobility. The feet are very stable, the ankles move, they're mobile, the knees are very stable. No twisting or turning in those knees. Move up the thighs all the way into the hips. The hips, believe it or not, even though we're all super active and some of us really athletic over the decades here in Jackson Hole, the hips can actually be weaker than you think they are. We tend to drive with those quadriceps kind of all day long, and also in our yoga postures, we tend to overuse the thighs. So the hips are often weaker, even if you're strong, and the hips are often tight. So when we get into the hips, we want strength and we want mobility. As we move up the kinetic chain, I'm going to turn this way, that lumbar curve, that's the natural healthy shape of the low back. But this area is often tight, it's often prone to injury, or we've already had injuries. And also, it can be unstable or weak. So what we do to help that low back is we really engage those abs. And I will sound like a broken record. I will say, pull the navel in over and over again. So again, up into the hips, hips slightly back, navel in towards the spine, but don't hold your breath, make sure you breathe. Shoulders up and slightly back. And I'm going to turn this way because this is very, very important. The scapular bones, we want those to move. The opposite of that is they're frozen, kind of like this. We're kind of like this all day long, almost kind of like an old man position, no offense to the guys out there. But wear and tear in time take us this direction. We're like this. So the opposite of that is we come up, we take those shoulders back, and then we take the shoulders down. So you feel movement in those scapular bones. Up in this area, we want strength up in here, but we also want mobility. And that's so critical for the health of the shoulder joint because your rotator cuff muscles attach here. So if you've got strength and mobility up in here, that helps protect the low back and also protects that shoulder joint. If you tend to say if you fall on an outstretched arm, you will have the strength and stability in those scapular bones to help protect that shoulder joint. The icing on the cake is the head over the shoulder. So glide your head back so that you want the chin pretty much parallel with the floor and that head stays right over those shoulders. So here we are, Tadasana, in our most optimal alignment, very, very stable. Turn the palms forward, upper arm bones deep into the shoulder joints, and let's take a deep breath. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale up, and exhale. And just say hello to the tightness in the shoulders. And 1 more time. Inhale up. Exhale, float the arms down. Bring the arms up overhead. Pause here. So we're still in Tadasana, mountain pose. And now we've taken the arms overhead. So as we feel all that tightness in the shoulders, that's okay, that's normal. But as we feel that, we want to begin to engage the abs more. So that will help take some of the load and the stress off the shoulder joints. And the way we find those abs right from the beginning of class is bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, prayer position, press the fingers together, and you're going to pull down like you're pulling on a rope. So let's do that 1 time. Now release your hands, and let's do that again. Inhale, arms up. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra, and then press the hands together. Bring the arms all the way down, and right about there, can you feel that abdominal contraction? That means those abs have started to contract and wake up a little bit. And release the arms down. Inhale, arms out. Now just stretch. Palms forward. Wiggle the fingers a little bit. Again, we're trying to decrease the extra tension in the body. Now float the arms all the way down. Roll the shoulders back. Take your feet apart, athletic stance. And I'm going to turn this way so you can see my profile. We're going to do our first, and we're just warming up, our first chair pose or Utkatasana or zigzag. And the idea is to get into those hips. We want these muscles to get stronger and also have more mobility in the hips. Look straight ahead, glide your throat back. Take your palms out, have them face down for now, and take those shoulders back. So again, feel those shoulder blades move. Now imagine there's a chair back here, and I'm going to take my hips way back into that imaginary chair. So pause here. Now notice how the toes curl. Push your toes down, pause, and make sure you're looking about eye level. You don't want any stress in the neck right now because we're just warming up. Now take those hips back more. Feel how strong your legs, your thighs, your hips are. Now to rise up, let's engage the core. Pull the navel in strong, push your feet down, come all the way up, and take the shoulders back. Inhale, arms up, stretch. Exhale, float the arms down. Feet are still in an athletic stance, and we're going to change gears quickly. We're going to go to a one-leg balance pose. And so this is kind of like a push-up for your brain. Really challenges the nervous system. Looks so easy, but it's so challenging. Shift your weight to the right leg, and I'm going to mirror you. And then in one motion, you're going to lift your arms and your knee at the same time, and you're going to hold. So we're in Tadasana with one knee bent and raised and arms overhead. So it's still mountain pose. Breathe. And again, this looks so simple, but it's one of our most challenging postures. Press your toes down. Hold 4 more counts. Now here's the hard part. Can you look up? Really challenge your balance. And if you fall, go back for it. Go back into the pose. Hold. Now look straight ahead. Bring that foot down, athletic stance. And we're going to drop into that chair pose again. This time the arms are slightly higher, a little more into the shoulders. Pull your shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back. Now engage the belly. Pull your belly in strong and drop those hips into that imaginary chair. Utkatasana zigzag. Look slightly down. Breathe. And again, we're just warming up, so things are going to feel a little tight. Breathe. Now imagine there's hands underneath your upper arms. Lift the arms up, hold, press your feet down, come all the way up, arms down, roll the shoulders back and down. Let's take a deep breath. Inhale, arms up, big circle with the arms. Exhale, float the arms down, and pause here. Now as we bring the arms back down, make sure we keep the shoulders slightly back and slightly down. So one-legged Tadasana, balance pose, second side. So in one motion, we're going to shift our weight to your left, and then in one motion, lift that knee up and hold. Now just kind of settle in a little bit. So at first, notice how your brain starts to kind of get into overdrive. In other words, we want to get out of this quickly because we're off balance. So instead, breathe. Take a deep breath. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Now press that left foot down. Bring your bent knee, your right bent knee, bring that hip back a touch. Hips are square. Look straight ahead. Lift under the ribs. Hold. Now look up. 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look straight ahead. Bring your foot down. Bring the arms down. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Utkatasana, last time. I'm going to turn this way. This is our 3rd repetition, Utkatasana. And again, really strengthens the hips. Arms up a little higher this time, more like 70 degrees. But look straight ahead. Glide your throat back. Press your toes down and drop those hips into that imaginary chair. Now notice my torso is about the same angle as my lower leg, my shin. And that's our kind of our optimal alignment. So this is a good, healthy position for the spine. We're going to stay with it. Now we're going to pulse in those hips. Watch my hips go up and down. Breathe. And you're going to do that 4 more times. Now bring your belly in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Push your feet down. Rise up. Arms up, bring the arms all the way down. Take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Breathe. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention at the beginning of class. Sorry. This is important. So the only kind of rule or guide for the next hour for the breath is just breathe. The mouth is softly closed. We'll inhale, and then just make sure you're not holding your breath, and make sure you exhale. Okay, don't forget to exhale. Again, we're trying to decrease tension in the body as we do the work. Star pose is our next one-legged balancing posture. Arms out to the side parallel, upper arm bones deep into the shoulder joints. Feel your shoulder blades move. Now tone the belly, and in one motion, you're going to lift your left hip as high as you can. Ready? To the side. Lift and hold. And if you fall, go for it again. Hold. Now you're going to feel some burning and tightness right here, and that's okay. We're trying to get into this. These muscles right here are a little bit weaker, so we're trying to strengthen those abductors. Hold. Now here's the icing on the cake. Look over that right shoulder. 4 counts. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring your foot all the way in. Touch the big toes. We've changed our base of support, a little more challenging. Bring the arms all the way down, shoulders back and down. And take a deep breath. Inhale, stretch up. Look straight ahead. Now glide your throat back, and we're going to move a little deeper into the standing posture. You're going to look up, stretch, pretend like there's hands under your rib cage. Now look straight ahead and bring the arms all the way down. Second star pose, so we're going to shift our weight to the left, and then in one motion, take that hip out and balance. And you'll notice one side is easier than the other. Hold. Now lift that hip a touch higher. We move from the hip. This is where we want to feel the work. We're not leading with the knee joint or the ankle. Now look over the shoulder. Here's the hard part. Hold. And 1, 2, 3, 4. Bring the arms down. Bring the leg back in. Tadasana. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. So a healthy spine moves in all the different planes of motion. So now that we're warming up, we're going to add some side bending and some deeper twist. Again, just variations of Tadasana. Arms up. Look straight ahead. Make sure you're not holding breath. Now we're going to do crescent pose. We're going to side bend to the right. And so we want to think of it, we're not doing a big open stretch. Instead, we're using all the muscles in the abs, the waistline, and the low back. So bring the navel in strong, lift under the ribs, and then you're going to side bend over to the right and hold. This is crescent pose. Hold. Stay with it. Now notice how we tend to curl forward at the shoulders, and our knees start to move a little bit. So root the legs, push your feet down. Push that left leg down. Now take that left shoulder back. Now use the strength of the core to bring you up. Pull your belly in, come all the way up. Let the arms come all the way down. Breathe. And notice how one side feels longer than the other. Crescent pose, second side. Inhale, arms up. Pause here. Make sure you're not holding your breath. So again, it's not just a stretch. We're not just taking the shape. We're using our strength and our stability to move us into the posture. Shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back, belly draws in, but make sure you're not holding your breath. Push your legs down, and then side bend over, crescent pose. Now the tendency here is we tend to curl forward, or we start moving the knees around. So keep the legs super still. Push your right foot down more. Now take your right shoulder back more, and you'll discover all kinds of tight spots. Make sure your face is relaxed. Now to rise up, use the strength of the core. Pull the belly in, come all the way up, and bring the arms all the way down. Separate the feet back to athletic stance. Bring the arms up, hands into Anjali Mudra. Bring the arms down, and again, kind of press the fingertips a little bit lightly so you feel those abs contract. Now we're going to do a twist. So we're going to drop into that chair pose. Hold the pose. Feel your hips Feel how strong your hips are. Don't curl your toes, push your toes down. So the back is working because we're slightly bending forward. So we really want to tone the belly, pull the abs in. And we're going to do a very small twist. So keep your knees apart, keep your hips still, and then just do a little bit of a sweep over to the left and hold. So this is a more vulnerable position for the back. So we want to use the strength of the core. Pull your belly in. Now take that left hip an inch forward. Be very still. Come all the way back up to center. Come all the way up. Arms down. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Float the arms down. So ideally when we twist, there's a couple different options. The one we just did, the hips are very still, and we feel the twist or the movement really from about the navel up. Another way to twist safely is you use more hips. What we don't want is we don't want any twisting in the small of the back, right above the tailbone area, in that lumbar curve. That creates a lot of instability. It can actually cause injury or set you up for injury. So the twisting needs to be up here or right here. Second side, arms up, hands to Anjali Mudra. Press the hands together, pull down on that imaginary rope. Drop the hips, hold the squat position, hold. Now from about the navel up, turn towards your right. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And just stay here. You can tell how vulnerable the low back is in this position. So just hold the pose. Now take your left hip back an inch, right hip forward an inch. Now take your right shoulder back an inch. Hold, hold, hold. Come all the way back to center. Reach the arms out. Turn the thumbs up. Lift the arms up. Utkatasana zigzag. Press your feet down. Come all the way up. Arms down. Bring your feet in closer together, Tadasana. How we doing? Warmed up? We got a lot more work to do. Inhale, arms up. Now exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward bend. So we've taken our spine in all the different planes of motion. So we should be starting to warm up. So we moved into Uttanasana, full forward bend. Bend your knees a little or a lot. Hold the pose. Now press those feet down. So in Uttanasana, notice we tend to give in to the pose a little bit. It has a very calming effect on the nervous system, the forward bending. But we still want to be super muscular and strong in the lower body and the core in order to protect the back. So we kind of recharge the legs, push your feet down, hug your thighs at touch. Now come to spider fingers, hold. Now you're going to pull those hands away about 6 inches or more, actually probably about 10 inches. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Feel those hamstrings. Now put your fingertips back on the floor. Breathe. Now we've got to recharge. We're going to rise all the way up. Push your feet down. Belly draws in. Rise all the way up. Feel how strong your lower body and your abs are. Look straight ahead and let the arms come all the way down. Shoulders back. Breathe. Our first standing back bend. So it's not cobra yet, but it's actually more of an arch. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my torso alignment. So Tadasana. Now the hips go slightly back, navel stays drawn in, shoulders back, shoulder blades down. Now pause here. Now we're going to lift the arms up, and again, it's an arch. It's not a standing cobra yet. Glide your throat back, and we're going to begin to get into the upper back, this whole area up in here, and we're going to begin to arch back. So lift the heart. Again, shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back. Glide your throat back. Then right at the sternum, right above, kind of the center of the heart, lift up. Then arch back any amount. You want no pain or compression in the low back. Glide your throat back. Breathe. This pose, this arch back more and feel some opening in the upper back. Hold. Now to come out safely, use your abs. Pull your belly in strong, come all the way upright, bring the arms all the way down. Step to the front of the mat. How we doing? Everybody warmed up? Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana, forward bend. Left leg back lunge, so first lunge pose. Take the feet wide, and in order to create a more stable and more strength-oriented position, I'm going to keep that back heel lifted the whole class. So stay here. So notice with lunge pose, just like Uttanasana, we tend to kind of cave and collapse a little bit, and that's okay, but we really want to keep our strength in our pose. Push your feet down. Now take your front right hip back an inch, bring your left hip forward an inch, hips are square, hold. Now bring your torso over that right thigh, and feel your belly kind of touch the leg, a little or a lot, it kind of depends. Come to spider fingers. Now pull your navel in, and you're going to feel your torso move away from that thigh. Hold. Okay, now we're going to take it up a notch. Take those arms away from the floor. Hold, stay down low. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Fingertips to the floor. Take that foot back. Feel the relief in that right hip. Now first plank pose of the morning. Hold. You can either be down on your knees, that's always position 1, or you can always go to position 2 for a more challenging posture. So first plank, claw the floor, bend the elbows a touch. Now lift your thighs a little bit, and go ahead and lift those hips a little bit. It's not downward dog, but we don't want to collapse in the low back. So hold for 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come down to your knees, all fours position. So while we're here, we're going to throw in our first set of push-ups. Our least favorite exercise, and I'm sure you've been doing it at home this whole break, right? So, take your hands to the edge of the mat. Knees can be under the hips, or go to position 2, more challenging. Or if you're feeling pretty strong this morning, go for a full push-up. Bring the legs together. Tops the feet down. It's as if the lower body were dead weight. Now tone the belly. Pull the navel in. Feel the hips move back. And you're going to lower the chest towards the floor. You don't have to go all the way down. So to the floor, push back. And we're going to do 8. And keep your head very still. Don't move your head back and forth. Good. Let's do 6 more. Go. Push. 1, 2, 3, you got 3 more. 4, 5, and 6. Bring the knees under the hips, bring the hands in, turn the toes under. Before we take off into first downward dog of the morning, imagine there's somebody with their hands on your hips. And so you're going to lift up, and then you're going to take the hips way back towards the back of the mat. First dog pose of the practice. So we want to settle in and enjoy the pose, especially when we pick things up here in a few minutes. Downward dog becomes our active rest. So as you lift the hips up, then take the hips back, you're going to feel the length in the spine. Hold the pose, eyes are open. Now click all 10 fingertips down like little claws. From the wrist through the shoulders, lift up. Let the heart drop a 1/2 inch or more, and take those hips back. And don't force your heels to the floor. Have that slight bend in the knees. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Now look between the hands. We're going to do lunge on that second side. And you want to move from your hips. This really works on our agility, which is so important, because as we age, we tend to lose our ability to move in different directions. So lift from the hips, look between the hands, and you can kind of lean to the side and bring that foot all the way forward. I'm sure you guys did that great. Good work. Second lunge, hold the pose. Head in line with with the spine so you're looking slightly down. And again, notice how we tend to give in or collapse. So we want to be very muscular and recharge the legs. Lift that back thigh. Take this front hip slightly down, knee over the ankle, and pull it back. And it's going to be tight. You're going to feel it right in here, and that's okay. Hold. Now come to spider fingers. Bring the torso over that left leg. And again, head in line with the spine. Now pull your belly away from your thigh. Draw in. And then when you're ready, take your arms away. Hold. Stay low. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands to the mat. Back to plank. Separate the feet. And the knees can be down if you'd like. Claw the floor. And we're going to get into the rib cage a little bit, the obliques, the muscles along the waistline. And again, lift the thighs, hips slightly up, let the heart drop an inch. Now take your right knee, cross and back, cross and back. Good, cross, back. So my hips are going to drop as I twist, just a touch. No pain in the low back. And notice my elbows are a little bent. That way, I've got a little bit of, almost like little shock absorbers in the elbows. My shoulders, I don't feel a lot of rigidity in the arms right now because I'm trying to get in the oblique muscles. That's along the rib cage. How are we doing? Do you feel that? Okay, let's do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to center. Bring your feet in. Belly draws in. Pull those hips back. Back to downward dog, and enjoy the pose. So again, this becomes our active rest. Eyes are open. Make sure you're not holding your breath. So even though the pose is very calming and it really settles the nervous system down, we're still working pretty hard because we're supporting our body weight. So it's not as hard as plank, but we're still having to support the weight of the body. So press the 10 fingers down. From your shoulders to your wrist, lift up a couple inches. Let the heart drop about an inch. Feel those shoulder blades engage. Now tone the belly. Pull your belly in, and from that strength that you just felt when you pulled your belly in, push the hips back. Now take the heels back and let them release towards the floor and touch. Mine will not touch the floor, so don't ever force that move. But boy, I can feel the stretch in my calf muscles, and that's what we're after. Breathe, inhale, exhale, come down to all fours. 6 push-ups, hands to the edge of the mat. Walk the knees back, or you can do full push-up or knees forward. Hug the legs together, tops of the feet glued to the floor. Belly toned and go for it. Down, push, down, push. Got 4 more. 1, head in line with the spine. 2, 3, and 4, and up. Knees come in. Bring the hands in. Fingertips face forward. So this is our chaturanga prep. Chaturanga pose, which we'll get there in just a few minutes, it requires a lot of strength, plus it tends to overstress the shoulders. We tend to push through here. So what we want to do is get into this tricep more for support. This area is hard to access, especially for women. It's just hard to strengthen this area right here. But once we get that tricep engaged, we'll pull a little bit of stress off the front of that shoulder. So elbows in, and I do have a shoulder injury on this side, so it may look not quite very strong. Walk the knees back. This is our chaturanga prep. Bring your hands in a more narrow position, so almost you're going to be towards your rib cage. Head in line with the spine. Now watch me first. Hug the elbows in, and again, just take a little break and watch me. So we tend to dive forward, and that's not so great for the shoulders, and it doesn't get the triceps. So we're going to take those shoulders back and down, elbows hug in, and we're going to drop 2, 3, 4, push back, drop 2, 3, 4, push back, and you're going to feel those triceps. Let's go. Let's do 3 more. Drop, 2, 3, 4. Push back. And again, shoulders are back, 2, 3, 4. Feel the tricep above the elbow. Let's do one more. Drop, 2, 3, 4. Push back. Can you guys feel that? Now all the way to the floor, chaturanga. All the way. Feet apart. Tops of the feet down. So feet are actually about hip width apart. Just like Tadasana. Hands beside the chest. Glide your throat back. We're going to do our first cobra on the mat. So pause here before we take off. Glide your throat back so you're looking right at the mat, about 4 inches from your nose to the mat. Fingers move in. Now just like chaturanga prep, hug those elbows in, roll those shoulders back. Feel all that work in that upper back area. That area is getting stronger, and that's what will help support you in cobra. Pull your belly in, then push lightly against the mat. Roll back, hold, breathe, breathe. Now come all the way down, extend through the top of the head, look at the mat. Pause. Your guide in your back bends is, does your back feel good when you come out? Or maybe not necessarily good, but does your back feel okay? No shooting pain, no compression. We've done a lot of muscle work, and that does include the low back, but you want almost kind of a clearing or so that it feels like there's more space here. Cobra again, take the feet wide to the edges of the mat, roll the shoulders back, hug the elbows in, glide your throat back, tone the belly, lift up, press slightly, cobra. Breathe, don't hold your breath, hug the elbows in. Now pull your fingertips back a little bit, heart forward, feel those shoulder blades, oh yeah. Come all the way down, stretch through the top of the head. Again, make sure your low back feels okay. Now we're going to get super muscular. Bring the legs in, hug the elbows in. This trains us for full chaturanga. Roll the shoulders back. Pull your head back. Now you're going to, in fact, watch me on this first one. Push down, push your thighs down. Lift up, 2, 3, 4, go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, down, all the way down, and breathe. So you don't have to go to that full chaturanga for a couple counts. You can stay on your knees. But that gives us an idea of how strong and muscular we have to be, and we got to get those shoulders back in order to work up to full chaturanga. And again, I have an injury on this side that you're looking at, so I got to be careful. Roll the shoulders back, shoulder blades down, hug the elbows in, toes are turned under. Now here's the hard part. Pull the belly in, press up, hold, or you can go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, down you go, all the way. Breathe. Salamba, locust. Don't take a break. We're going right into it. You're going to feel all the muscles in the back of the body. Hands beside the hips, palms turned in, shoulders back, shoulder blades down the back. And at this point, you should be starting to feel those upper back muscles. It should not be painful, but you should feel those muscles are starting to engage. Feet a little wider. Breathe. Glide your throat back. Now lift up just a little bit like a small cobra. Lift those triceps. Good. Now here we're going to complete the posture, locust. Lift the legs up. Feel how strong every muscle in the back of the body is. Breathe. Now stretch through the balls of the feet. That'll help with the tension. Don't hold your breath. Shoulders back. Legs up. Come all the way down slowly. Place your hands. Take your forehead down. Pause and let the tension in the shoulders decrease. Just relax for about 2 counts. 1, 2. Okay, now we got to recharge. Bring your face away from the mat. Hug your elbows in. Press your thighs in. Now we got to do reverse chaturanga, reverse push-up. Get those shoulders way back. Push your thighs down. Come up, 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 any way you can. Plank. Hold. Back to downward dog. and enjoy downward dog. And when we get to dog pose, just breathe. Again, this is our rest, our active rest. And after the work we just did in Cobra, it's going to feel good to lengthen that spine. Lift the shoulders just a little bit. Pull the hips back. Bend both knees, walk forward. Uttanasana, forward bend. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to Anjali Mudra. And release the arms. We're going to do 2 sun salutations just to kind of shake it out a little bit. That way your mind can relax a little bit and you don't have to think so hard. Just allow yourself to breathe and to move. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bow. Uttanasana, forward bend. Right leg back, lunge. Flow to plank. To your knees, chaturanga. Cobra or upward dog if you practice upward dog. Come out of your back bend. Be very muscular. Back up to plank. Downward dog. Stretch. Breathe. Look between your hands. Lift your right hip and swing that leg forward. Works on that agility. Get on up there any way you can. Now, rock forward or step forward. Rise up. Be really strong in the core. Pull the belly in. Hands to Anjali Mudra. Again. Inhale. Exhale. Bow. Left leg back. Lunge. Flow to plank. Make sure you don't hold your breath. Chaturanga. Keep those shoulders back. Cobra or upward dog. Breathe. Come out of your back bend. Be very muscular. Push back up. Plank. Back to downward dog. Stretch. And breathe. Bend your knees. Walk forward. Uttanasana. Forward bend. Rise up. Hands to Anjali Mudra. Grab your weights. Good job, you guys. How we doing? I've got 2 cameras on, so I'm sorry if it looks weird, because I'm looking back and forth. I figured if I got 2, one of them will get it right. We'll record it. Okay, first strength move. We call these compound exercises. That means we're doing several things at one time. That way the muscles work more efficiently, plus you really get into the abs more. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my profile. It's a back lunge with a hammer curl. And we use these lunges in order to strengthen the hips. Look straight ahead and don't rush. Back off a little bit. Go a little slower because you want to work on your balance. And you're going to step back and then you're going to come forward. And go ahead and join me. And again, slow down and feel your body find the balance point. Otherwise, we're kind of tipping over to the side. And we find that balance point by getting into those hips. Drop, together, drop, go slow. Drop, together. Don't hold your breath. So slow and steady. Drop, drop. We're going to do 4 more. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come to center. Come to the, you can stay at the front of your mat. Palms forward, shoulders back. To the right, side lunge. And side, back to center. Let's go. Side. So now this lateral movement is really good for our balance because you don't do a lot of lateral movement during your everyday activity. And these side hip muscles on the outer hip, the muscles right in here, tend to weaken as we get older. And the research shows that actually contributes to your fall risk. So again, side squat, side or side lunge, side. Now I'm doing a little bit of a bicep curl here, a little bit of a pump. Notice how my shoulders tend to drift forward. Take those shoulders back. Good, keep going. Should be warmed up now. 4 more. 2, 3, 4. Back to center. Weights down. Change gears. Feet apart. Pause here. Wide angled stance. And hold. Arms up. Breathe. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Warrior poses strengthen and create mobility in the hips. Turn your left foot in, right foot out. And hold. And you're going to drop that front hip. Doesn't really matter which side you're on. Hold. 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 Now you're going to come back up and go right into the second side. And we're going to come back to this pose in just a little bit. This is our little kind of a Virabhadrasana 2 prep. Drop that front hip. Now pull your waistline back to center. Look over your front arm and hold. Now your front leg, whether it's your right or your left, take the front sitting bone down an inch. Pull your front hip back an inch. Put a little weight on that back leg. Hold. Hold. Now to rise up, use the belly muscles. Pull your belly in, then straighten the front leg. Turn your feet parallel. Hands down, step together. Inhale, arms up. Stretch. Exhale, float the arms down. Grab your weights. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see my profile. So we're going to do a squat with an overhead press. Separate the feet, athletic stance, just like in chair position. We've got that stable base of support. Now we're going to add an upper body movement with this, and we're going to be very conservative since we are all getting older here at the Senior Center. And we all, at least a lot of us, have shoulder issues, including myself. So we're going to keep those elbows way forward, upper arms back, and again, this is a conservative weight position for the shoulders. And we're going to drop into the squat position, and as you come up, stand up straight, arms slightly forward, power overhead. Drop, press, keep your head still. Drop, press, again, keep your head still. Drop, and drop. Arms slightly forward, elbows are forward. Safe position for the shoulders with those weights. If you have shoulder issues, feel free to put the weights down. Press. Now we're going to do 4 more. Pull your belly in as you pop up. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Weights down all the way to the floor, and turn your mat parallel with mine. Grab a drink. So your mat is now parallel with mine. Back to that wide stance. And pause. Breathe. In this wide angled stance, we've changed our base of support, so it's quite a bit wider now. And so it's a little bit more vulnerable. You feel the tension in the inner thighs, and you feel those hamstrings. So we're in this position, we're actually strengthening those weaker muscles. Often inner thighs, groin muscles, hamstrings, weaker and tighter. Turn your left foot in, right foot out, and I'm going to mirror you. Arms up, pause. So we're going to revisit Virabhadrasana 2. Now keep weight on that back left foot, and then drop that front hip. Hold. Hold the pose. Now look over the front arm. Hold the pose. Breathe. Now keep your leg position like it is. Turn the palms up. Arch back. Reverse warrior. And you're going to feel a big stretch on that front hip flexor, your psoas. From your front hip bone, where the knees bent, all the way up into the ribs. Do you all feel that? That is your psoas. It gets tight all day long. It actually shortens. So in this position, you're going to feel it release. Hold. Now push through the feet, straighten the front leg, bring the arms up, face the center, bring your hands down, roll the shoulders back, decrease the tension a little bit. Breathe. Press your feet down. Bring the arms up. Now we're going to do a side bend, triangle pose. Tone the belly, pull the belly in, and from the strength of the core, do a side bend. So we're not just pushing the shoulders forward to the side, we're moving from the strength of the core. Shoulders back. Try not to hold your breath. Push your feet down. Now we're going to keep the same leg position. We're going to Goddess Warrior. Rise up, look over your front leg, and you're going to arch back. And there's that psoas again. Take a breath. Exhale. Roll both shoulders back. Take your front sitting bone down 1/4 of an inch. Can you all feel that? Lift your top shoulder up. Now to rise up safely, tone the belly. Pull the belly in, come up, and then let the arms come all the way down. Second side, turn your right foot in, left foot out. Breathe. And you'll notice one side of the body actually feels longer than the other. Arms up. Virabhadrasana 2. Go ahead and go for it. Drop into the pose. And just stay here. Now your front knee, take it a little bit more to the left. If your right leg is forward, take your knee a little bit more to the right, to the outer edge. Drop your front sitting bone. Now turn the palms up. Keep your legs still. Arch back. And again, feel the stretch in that psoas. Shoulders back. Breathe. Hold. Now straighten the front leg. Rise up. Face the center. Tone the belly. Side bend. Utthita Trikonasana, triangle pose. And just be here. Breathe. Shoulders back. Push your back foot down and feel your whole top rib cage lift up. We want to feel expansion in the torso versus the opposite of that would be curling forward. So shoulders back and up. Look down. We're going to move into Goddess Warrior. Tone the belly. Pull your belly in. Rise up. Arch back. Slightly bend that back leg. Shoulders up and back. Now your front leg that's straight, drop the sitting bone 1/4 of an inch. Feel that hip flexor. Breathe. And come up. Turn the feet parallel. Step the feet together. Grab your weights. Last weight exercise. How we do it? You can have one weight or two. I'm going to turn to the side. You can face forward so you can see me. I'm going to turn this way so you can see my profile. We call this, actually it's a kettlebell art, but we have weights, we don't have kettlebells. And we're also going to adjust this weight training move for an aging population, and especially for myself. So that what you might see if you go to CrossFit or if you're watching some videos, or for people who are younger, you see a lot of movement in the pelvis on this exercise. We're going to protect our backs more. We're going to keep the pelvis very neutral and still. Bend the knees, bend the elbows. Lift up to about right here. And you're going to drop into a chair position and you're going to reach through. No pain on the low back. Now be very muscular. Push your feet down, belly in, and come up. Lift and drop. And that's why we call it a swing. You're actually making an arc with the weights. This will train your core, including your low back, to be able to handle something. You know, if you lift something up off your kitchen floor, then the core, including the low back, is strong enough to handle it. Breathe. Lift. We're going to do 4 more. We're done. 1, 2, remember to breathe. 3, and 4. Weights down. Come back to the mat. come to one end, doesn't matter which end, 2 sun salutations. Again, just to kind of shake it off a little bit. Inhale. Exhale, bow, Uttanasana. Right leg back, lunge. Flow to plank. Chaturanga to your knees or not. Cobra or upward dog. Come out of the back bend. Be super strong. Push back to plank. Back to downward dog. Hips back. Breathe. Look between your hands. Take your right foot forward. Lunge. Step forward. Tone the belly. Pull in. Rise up. Pause here. Exhale. Now arch back. You can go a little deeper in the pose now. Look straight forward. Hands to Anjali Mudra. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Bow. Uttanasana. Forward bend. Left leg back. Lunge. Flow to plank. Elbows in, shoulders back. Chaturanga. Cobra or upward dog. Come out of the pose. Press back up to plank. Back to downward dog. Stretch. Breathe. Bend your knees. Walk forward. Uttanasana. Forward bend. Inhale. Rise up. Hands to Anjali Mudra. Breathe. Pause here. I'm going to check our time. Sorry. My very professional videotaping. It'll get better, I promise. We got about 7 minutes, okay? And we will cool down, I promise. Let's do a standing posture with a twist. We're almost there. The work's almost over. So let's, you've got your mat parallel with mine, and come to your right. You're going to take your left foot back. I'm going to mirror you. I want you to be able to see me while we do this. We're going to do Parvrita Parsvakonasana, revolving side angle. Look straight ahead, arms up. Now here's your balance move. Lift that knee up. Drop, drop, drop. Back we go. Good work. Agility move. Research literally shows if you have the ability to get up and out of the floor, you live longer. That's increased agility. Stay here. Parvrita Parsvakonasana. Now bring your left elbow like this. Pull this front hip back. Good. Now you're going to bring your right hand in. Now just roll the shoulder back, just like this. Stay here. And notice how this pose, when we eliminate the arm movement, how good that shoulder feels, and we really feel the hip, and we feel right in here. So stay here. Now push on the spider fingers. Imagine this back arm's not there. What would that feel like? Now take the arm out parallel. Upper arm bone deep into the shoulder joint. Breathe. And for today, we're just going to take the arm up. Hold the pose. Stay with it. We're in a twist. So again, a little bit vulnerable position for the core and the back. So pull your front hip back, back hip forward. Now from right in here, revolve more. From right here to here, lift up. Then take the sitting bone down. So down and up. There's your pose. Unwind. Go back to plank. Back to downward dog. Feel the difference in the hips. Breathe. Bend your knees. Walk forward. Uttanasana. Rise up. Anjali Mudra. And again, feel the difference between this hip and the other hip. Arms down. Walk to your second side. Again, so you can see me. Look straight ahead. Arms up. Knee up. A drop down. Good work. If you fell, get back up. If you're laying in the living room floor. Spider fingers. Lift that back hip. Bring the elbow in. Pause here. Now this hip wants to hike up. Drop it down. Hug the arm in. Now rotate the torso forward. And again, just enjoy it, how good that feels. shoulders back. Take this sitting bone down 1/4 inch. Lift that back thigh. And if you want to, you can take that arm up. It's optional. Glide your throat back. Imagine a pillow back there. Try not to hold your breath. Now press those fingertips down. Hold. Parshvanottanasana. Hold. Breathe. Slowly unwind. Foot goes back. Come down to the knees. Okay, I'm going to throw a move in there. You won't like it, but it's good for you. Last step, real quick. Plank position. Elbows slightly bent, hips, thighs lifted. You're going to do 4 mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knees down, go 2 push-ups. 1 and 2. Do that again. Plank, mountain climbers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knees down, go. 1 and 2. Last set. Plank. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knees down. And 1 and 2. Good work. You're done. Feet up together, knees apart. Bend the elbows and just collapse. So let those shoulders relax. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Heart rate will still be up a touch, but that's okay. We're going to start bringing it down. Go about 4 minutes. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe. Turn over on your back. Tadasana. Bend your knees. Be really kind of soft and fluid now. We've been super muscular and strong, so kind of back off a little bit and just rock those hips. Very, very fluid. Windshield wiper side to side. Come back to center. Straighten the leg. Arms overhead. Hang on that trapeze bar. Hug the right knee towards your chest. Hold. We're almost there. Good work, you guys. If you're new to Yoga for Strength, it's kind of the same format every week. Go ahead and hang on the trapeze bar. I try to vary the postures here and there, but it is very basic class, but always with a big emphasis on strength component. And release that leg. Close your eyes. Heart rate will probably be up a touch, but that's okay. Just close the eyes. And if your back is tight or you're a little uncomfortable, feel free to bend those knees. Find a comfortable position for yourself. I'm going to sit up and talk you through this. Find a comfortable position for yourself for the next few moments. And certainly if your heart rate's a little high, feel free to sit up like I am in a cross-leg position. It's all good at this point. Close your eyes. We had a very strength-oriented and stability-oriented practice this morning. The nervous system now senses that. And once your brain senses how strong and stable you are, your brain can finally relax or soften, even for just a few moments. That will help decrease the excess tension in the body. And at this point in time, we desperately need that. So again, let your body collapse into the mat. Eyes are closed. We just had a very, a huge amount of increased blood flow the last hour, and that is the best medicine of all. So let it do its magic. Just be very comfortable. Literally feel the blood rushing through the body. It's so, so good for you. Your only effort is to be very still just a few moments of stillness in your day has incredible benefits for the nervous system, the tension in the body, just your overall sense of well-being. Let the breath return to your normal breathing pattern. It's very subconscious. You don't have to make the effort to inhale or exhale. You just let yourself be breathed. No effort. And if you if you got time, you don't have to do anything else this morning, feel free to turn off the video and stay in a longer restorative Shavasana pose. But if you've got to get up and get moving, go ahead and open the eyes a little bit and just be there for a few moments. And then go ahead and bend your knees, kind of rock a little bit side to side. Come over to hands and knees position. Pause here, eyes are now open, move those hips to the right, look over the right shoulder, and then move your hips to the left, look over the left shoulder. Again, now our motions are very fluid and softer, not as muscular and not rigid, but not as stable. We're softer now. Come back to center, bow, pranam, pose of the child. So the Sanskrit for pranam, pose of the child, means to bow. So literally just collapse into the support of the ground. Take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. Come up to all fours. Bring one knee forward at a time. Uttanasana, forward bend. Bend your knees a little or a lot. You don't want any pain or compression in the low back or the hamstrings. If you want to give yourself a little traction, you can grab your elbows. Just pay attention, hamstrings, low back, point of tightness and hold, don't go beyond that. And to come up safely and just kind of in a more relaxed fashion, put your hands on your hips and push down a little bit and just come up very, very slowly, a little bit of a head rush. And then face the center. So our Shavasana for this class is usually fairly short, more of a little break or restorative, because you got to get back out into the rest of your day. So come on up to Tadasana, take a deep breath, inhale, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the hips, be a little softer, more fluid, and then let the arms come all the way down. Thank you so much for joining us, okay? We're going to keep putting out some videos since it's kind of a big question mark of how long it'll be before we get back in the fitness center together for our classes. So hopefully this recorded, that'll be a huge step, and hopefully I'll be able to post it tonight on YouTube. We're not charging for classes, we just want to stay connected and give you guys what you need right now. We are a nonprofit here at the Senior Center of Jackson Hole, so if you want to make a donation at the end of the quarantine or the sheltering, because you have participated and really benefited from the classes, we would certainly take your donation. So again, thanks for joining us, and I'm going to see you soon. We're going to try to post numerous videos as we move through the month of April. Namaste.